Okay students, now we are going to define a concept called as inertia, which is a Latin word which means inability or laziness in English. I am going to perform a simple experiment using a beaker-like vessel, a cardboard and a coin. Okay students, this is a vessel like a beaker. This is a cardboard. This is a cardboard and this is a 5 rupee coin. Okay students. So a simple activity we are going to do now. You take this vessel over which the cardboard is placed. Okay. And the coin, the 5 rupee coin, I am placing it over the cardboard. Are you able to see this now? Like this it will be. Okay. Are you able to see? So the coin is slightly placed, it is just placed on the cardboard. Now I am going to pull the cardboard by two ways. First time what I am going to do is, while pulling the cardboard, I will exert a large force. See, like this. I have exerted a large force. Where is the coin now? It has fallen. It has fallen inside the container. You see here, the coin is inside the container. Okay. So I will repeat once again. I place the cardboard. Over the cardboard, I will place this 5 rupee coin and I am going to pull the cardboard with a large force like this. So that only the cardboard is in my hand. But the coin has not come along with the cardboard. So it has fallen inside the container. Why? When the coin was kept on the cardboard, both were at rest. Both were at rest only, no. See, when the coin is at rest, cardboard is also at rest. But when I apply a great force on this cardboard, the cardboard has changed its state of rest to a state of motion. Why then the coin is unable to change its state of rest to a state of motion? Because the coin is having a laziness. The coin is having the inability to change its state of rest to a state of motion. This inability of the coin to change its state of rest to the state of motion is called its inertia of rest. It is in a state of inertia of rest. Okay. The same activity I am going to perform in a different way. So once again, the same cardboard is placed over the same container. The same coin only is placed here at the same position. You all can see the coin is placed over the cardboard like this. Now I am going to pull the cardboard by applying a force. You see, I have applied a force, a very small force. The coin has not fallen inside the container. The coin is still on the cardboard. You can see that the coin is still on the cardboard like this. This time why the coin is coming along with the cardboard? It is a different force which is acting on the cardboard. This time very less force only I have applied. So my dear students, what is happening actually in this experiment is the inability of the coin, okay, the inability of a body, any body, not only the coin, the inability of a body to change its state, of rest or motion, okay, it's a change of a state of rest or motion or even direction, okay, this only is called as inertia. In this example of the cardboard and the coin is in a state of inertia of rest. So, when the coin was initially placed on the cardboard and this force was applied. So, applied force is denoted by the symbol F applied. There is some frictional force. There will be some frictional force between, okay, F friction. There will be friction between the coin and the cardboard. Okay. So, when you applied a force greater than this frictional force, then the coin will be dropped inside and only the cardboard will come out. Okay, in which case see F applied. If F applied is greater than this frictional force means then only the cardboard will come away with us. the coin will fall due to inertia of rest. Okay. In the same example, if F applied is lesser than the frictional force means, then the coin also will come along the cardboard. That is a different situation. So, in the first case, why the coin has fallen into the vessel? Okay, that is because it is not ready to change its state of rest to motion immediately. So, this inability of the coin or any body to change its state of rest to motion only is called as inertia of rest. Okay, my dear students, you must have traveled in buses and trains and all. Okay, imagine yourself, you are sitting inside a resting bus. So, there is no driver and you are sitting inside the bus on a seat. And you did not notice the driver has entered into the bus now and has started the bus. When the entire bus is moving forward, suddenly you will have a fall back, is it not? You will be falling back towards the seat rest. That means when the entire bus is moving forward, you are unable to change your state of rest to motion along the direction of the bus. So, this inability of your body to change the state of rest to motion is called as inertia of rest. So many examples in our everyday life, okay. Suppose if you shake the tree, the fruits and the leaves will be falling down. This is because of the inability of the leaves and the fruits to change the inertia of the rest. Like that, still many examples can be given for the inertia of rest. Now, inertia is of three types depending upon the change in its state of rest or motion or direction. So, there are three types of inertia. What is the three? Inertia of rest. Second one is inertia of motion. And the third one is called inertia of direction. So, we are very familiar to all these three in our everyday life. So, inertia of rest, I told you, a passenger sitting inside a resting bus has a tendency to fall back towards his original position when the bus starts to move suddenly in the forward direction. Similarly, inertia of motion. Sometimes we will be traveling inside a crowded bus holding the rod above us. When the bus is traveling, along with the bus, we are also going with the same velocity in the same direction. Suppose suddenly the driver applies the brake. When sudden brake is applied to the bus will come to a halt, but we will be having the tendency to move and fall in the forward direction. That means our body is trying to continue its state of motion because it is unable to change its state from motion to rest immediately. Okay. So, this is called as inertia of motion. Similarly, when we sit in the rear seat, the back seat of a bus, and when the bus is turning, okay, over a left side curve, when the entire bus is turning towards the left, our body will be automatically moving towards its right to maintain its original direction of motion. Suppose when the entire bus is turning towards the right means the last seat, particularly the last seat, okay, we can very easily observe that only from the last seat. So that you will be moving towards the left when the bus takes a right turn. This is because of inertia of direction. So we want to maintain our original direction. Like that, when you sharpen the knives or any other tools by a grinding stone, okay, by a grinding stone, the sparks which is flying off, coming out of the grinding stone will be tangential to the circle. Understand this? That means it maintains its original direction. So, my dear students, the inability of a body to change its state of rest or motion or direction is called as the inertia. So, any body will by nature itself try to be in a state of its original motion or rest or direction. Okay. So, now there is a relationship between the inertia and the mass of a body. Now, in the same example, if you take a coin, you have understood, instead of a coin, a little greater mass, okay, 2 coins or 3 coins or a stone is kept which is greater in mass than that of this coin means, then the inertia of that stone will be greater than that of the coin because its mass is greater. So, my dear students, suppose if a person, suppose if two persons like this, one person is lean, the other person is a very stout person like this, okay? Simply you take like this. This is a lean person, this is a fat, stout person. And if there is a running race, okay, athletics conducted means now who has the greater chance of winning is the lean person, because he can run very fast, he can run very fast in the forward direction. But when this person is trying to run in the forward direction, his own mass will be opposing his motion along the straight line. Since the mass of the first person is lesser, the inertia to the motion of the body also will be lesser. Since the mass of the second person is greater, the inertia of motion for the second person will be also greater. Therefore, inertia, okay, is also related to the mass of a body. When the mass of the body increases, means the inertia will be increasing. So, have you understood up to this? Now, using this, we are going to study the 3 laws of motion given by Isaac Newton, which are popularly called as the Newton's laws of motion. Are you ready? Okay.